Fingal boys have left the road. They're on the way. Fingal about to come out on the ground. They're coming up the race now. Waiting on the voice from Scotch. Everyone, reserve players are all lined up, just waiting for them to come. And here they come.
Welcome to our coverage of the NTFA Division 2 Senior Grand Final for 2013, coming to you from the Youngtown Oval, and both teams are out on the ground getting ready for this big grand final here this afternoon. Shortly we'll have the toss of the coin for you, and after that the national anthem, and then the two teams will be ready to go into combat for this grand final.
On the bench, the loss was a good thing.
There's the Fingal side doing their final preliminaries. They're down at the northern or city end of the ground, and up here at the southern or airport end of the ground at the Youngtown Oval, we've got the Old Scotch Collegians doing their final preparations as well. Old Scotch, of course, coached by Kimmy Curtis, former North Launceston player, and Matthew Lowe coaching the Fingal Valley Blues. On previous occasions that these two teams have met during this season, in round 9, Old Scotch defeated Fingal 13-9-87 to, the other way around, was it? No, defeated by Fingal, in round 9. Fingal defeated Old Scotch 15-11-101 to 13-9-87. In round 15 they met again, and on that occasion Fingal again defeated Old Scotch 15-11-101 to 7-10-52, and in the second semi-final it was Old Scotch that turned the tables 18-7-115 to Fingal 10-7-67. So these teams have met on 3 previous occasions throughout the season, and Fingal have won 2, but the most previous winner in the second semi-final was Old Scotch. The toss has been taken in the centre of the ground, and Fingal will kick towards the city end, and Old Scotch will go to the airport end of the ground. Skies have clouded over a little bit at Youngtown here now. We've got a very weak and watery sun trying to shine through. Magnificent sunshine during the reserves grand final, which was won by Old Scotch, defeating Evandale. So Old Scotch 14-13-97 in the reserves, defeated Evandale 7-10-52, and Old Scotch now going for their second premiership on grand final day. There's only one thing that's likely to stop them, and that's a team down the far end there in the blue and the white. Fingal will have a lot to say about that. Players coming over now for the national anthem. Today's pictures being brought to you by Carter Productions, the video, audio and film transfer specialists at 113 George Street, Launceston. For any of your needs in music transfers, film transfers onto DVD and onto CD, see Arnie at Carter Productions in George Street in the city. He'd be only too happy to help you out.
Ladies and gentlemen, please for attending for the national anthem. play position. Breeze strict is the reserve.
So national anthem done and dusted, and the two teams now getting ready. Getting ready for the first bounce down to start the grand final. Matthew Lowe, the captain coach of Fingal, and vice captain Gavin Love, and 4 Old Scotch Kim Curtis, the coach, of course, as we've already mentioned, captain Matthew Harvey, and Charles White and Tommy Allenson sharing the vice captaincy roles. My name's Terry Fellows, bringing you the commentary, and as per usual, I'll announce my usual disclaimer. We only see these players, or I only see these players once a year, so we apologise for any errors that we make in calling names, but I'm sure you, the viewers, will know who's who as we bring the pictures to you from Carter Productions, and we'll do our best to get it right, but every now and then we, of course, will get it wrong.
4 20-minute quarters plus time on, and obviously the clock will stop for a stretcher or a blood rule. 20 minutes plus time on. Scotch kicking to the right hand side, and Fingal kicking to the Launceston end.
So here we go to start the senior grand final in Division 2, and a bit of a wayward bounce to start the game, so the umpire recalls it and we'll have a fresh start. Jonathan Smart in there doing the ruck duties for Fingal. And there's the throw up, and doing the ruck duties for Old Scotch, Lachlan McFadgen.
14, 23, 25.
So ball comes down where it's marked by Smart. He gives it quickly off by hand to a teammate on the way by. Ends up in the hands there of Anthony Walker. He kicks it down, and nice pick up off the ground there by number 10 Caleb Laycock for Fingal. Down in front of goal it goes.
Todd Spilsbury wearing number 22 for Fingal.
And so we've got some number changes there, which I'll catch up with later on and bring you up to date with those. Thank you. Wayne Kirby just sorting me out with those numbers so that we endeavour to get them right for you in the call. And there's been a free kick paid in the defensive goal square, and it'll go to Old Scotch. So Old Scotch working the ball around towards centre wing. Big punch from the back taken there by Nick Walker. Strong tackle thrown out of the pack after he disposed of the ball there was Brodie Lucas. Hovering around that 50-metre mark for Fingal for most of this first quarter so far. Fingal trying to get into their attacking zone. After that loose ball there, Matthew Lowe, the captain. Ball down on the ground adjacent to the centre circle, not going far, and the umpire will call for a ball up. So thank you to Wayne Kirby for sorting me out on those numbers, and hopefully now we'll get them right for you. Oh, good tackle there, and that'll be a free kick going to the way of Cameron Bugg for Fingal. He spots a player loose running forward of the centre square there, and that mark's been taken by Brodie Lucas. Man on the mark, stands on the front edge of the centre square. Lucas gets it inside 50. Over the back, trying to control it there was Richard Howe. Couldn't. Ball falls into the hands of Old Scotch. They'll bring it out in the direction of looking for Duncan White there. He couldn't mark it. Ball to the ground, stacks on the mill. And there's going to be a free kick paid here for holding the man. And it's going to go to Fingal. And Spilsbury is the man with the resultant free kick. Todd Spilsbury, and if he can use this breeze that's actually favouring the other end of the ground or going across the ground into the other end pocket, if he can put it up there and let the wind do the rest, and it has grabbed it, but it's fallen right in front of the goal square and been rushed over the line for a minor score. So first score in the grand final to the Blues, the Fingal Blues. And now it's out of bounds in front of that scoreboard, showing 1 point to Fingal. Scotch yet to get onto the scoreboard in the NTFA Division 2 Senior Grand Final. Great crowd in here at Youngtown this afternoon for this game. Boundary umpire's throw favours the southern end of the ground and it's been pushed back out over the line for another throw in. Tremendous crowd in attendance. Great to see people supporting the local footy. And it's this kind of footy that's the nuts and the bolts of the whole thing. And great to see. So, Old Scotch still trying to get that ball into their attacking zone for the first time in the quarter. Ball locked up once again. Finally it comes out and Fingal with good teamwork get the ball out the back of the pack, but in the meantime there's been a free kick paid to Old Scotch off the ball and now being called to play on, which they do, and the mark will be paid there. He actually spilled it in the finish, but he'd held it long enough according to the umpire, and that was Gavin Love, the vice-captain. He goes to centre wing. Seen a lot of players fall over in the reserves game, particularly the Avondale players losing their feet, and already we've seen a couple of the boys out there in this senior game do the same thing. Old Scotch getting the ball there inside their defensive 50, squeezing it out to centre wing. The mark's going to be taken there by French. French quickly on with the game. Seasoned player, of course, French, and a long kick finds Corey Goodluck falling to the ground and taking a nice mark. He swings onto his right foot. Wobbly old kick, falls short, punched away there by the defence of Nick Walker for Fingal. They win the ball and bring it out here towards centre wing on the broadcast side where Spilsbury takes the mark. He pops it over the top, sees a loose player here in Denham. Denham takes the mark on centre wing, looking where to go with the footy, gets the lead, takes it back into the corridor. Oh, almost a mark there, spilled at the last minute by Bug. Would have been a handy one to hang on to. Getting the loose ball off the ground and snapping it around the corner, Stagg. Bouncing ball. Here comes the Scotch defence, gets it out. Can the big man there take the mark in McFadgen? And he does. On with play quickly. Gets the ball off to a teammate. Punched away there by Gavin Love in defence. And what can he do with it? He finally wins the footy. Kicks it down, looking for the attacking zone. Stacks on the mill. The players come out with the ball in the maroon jumpers of Old Scotch, but it's cut off there for Fingal by Lucas. Been a busy player early. He gets the ball back inside 50. Ball falls free, comes out, the overlap on the run there for Scotch, puts the ball down to ground, runs again. This time he has a bounce. Found some good territory, he thought, so he had a bounce. Looks for a teammate over the head there of that teammate in Charles White. Fingal trying to work this ball out of defence, and they will through the agency of Luke French. He'll go over the top with a handball and finds his teammate there in Love. Love tackled and drops the footy, said the umpire. And the free kick will go to Scotch. Who? Light?
White.
All right. Light.
George Walker. Sorry, Walker. George Walker. Played the winning premiership last year.
George Walker.
Yeah, winning premiership.
All right. So, George Walker, a Wynyard Premiership player of last season. Lining up for the first goal in the grand final to Old Scotch. He'll kick the footy from about 40 metres out, gives it plenty of air, gives it plenty of direction, and the goal umpire comes up with the 2 forefingers. So, first score in the grand final to Old Scotch. So a good start to them after Avondale. Avondale were in the last game, after Fingal having most of the ball in their forward line in the game so far. First time Old Scotch go forward and they get a goal. The umpire will have a bounce. High tackle, and it'll go to Scotch in the centre of the ground. Getting up quickly and taking the ball, Sean Smith. Fires it out to the half-forward flank. Mark taken just outside 50. He's on with the game quickly as well. One-on-one battle here. Swiped away from the back by Fingal. They've got nowhere to go with the footy, so they have to hug the boundary line, but it's going to fall there into the arms of his old Scotch opponent, Duncan White. So White, he sees the lead coming to him in the forward pocket and lands it nicely on the chest of his teammate there in the agency of Jason French. Jason French, of course, a seasoned footballer of State League history with North Launceston, and puts it out in front of goal, floats across the front, through for a minor score. Trained off a bit Frenchy by the look of him. Short kick coming out of defence, lands in the hands there of Fingal's Goodger. They're still trying to work the ball out of defence. Ends up with Luke French this time. He goes short. Finds Spilsbury, I think it is over there. No, it's not Spilsbury. He's here in front of us. So they get the ball back into the centre, and a nice mark taken there for Old Scotch by White. Straight in the corridor. Can he control it? Yes, he can. That man again, Jason French. Running player up the outside of the ground, and he lands it on the chest of Sam Moore. So Sam Moore will go back once again. We'll have the aid of that cross breeze here, which is pushing the ball into that far side forward pocket, so he's got to allow for that. That's a normal breeze here at Youngtown, and he has allowed for it, but not quite enough. In fact, by the width of the goalpost, he's hit the post for the first poster in the grand final. So 1-2-8 plays just that 1 point to Fingal at this stage. Bouncing ball, that strange shaped bouncing ball squeezed around the corner. High tackle? No, not a high tackle. And that was Nick Ebden getting the ball in there. And we'll have a ball up. Centre half forward. Leaping high in that ruck contest was Jonathan Smart. Ball to ground. They pull and tug. Not coming out of there, says the man in the orange shirt. And he'll throw it up again. Another ball up. Nathan Bester on the microwave buttons here. You can hear the beep in the background. Squeezed out of the pack. And almost, but not quite, a mark there to Old Scotch's George Walker again. And this time it's out over the boundary line for a throw-in in the forward pocket. Smart at that boundary throw-in. Does the smart thing and thumps it through for a minor score. Kick in from defence. Results in a turn over to Tommy Allison, one of the vice captains of Scotch, and Allison will take their fourth shot at goal. And he too is off to the near side. And another minor score. So 1-4-10. Plays a one behind. This time down the middle with a raking kick, and that's going to be another turnover mark taken by Lachlan McFadgen. Man on the mark stands about 40 metres out of goal. He's just about up and down the centre corridor, McFadgen. And he'll too have to read the breeze here a little as in he comes. He'll kick from 45. Bit of a wobbly old kick. It's going to fall right in the score zone, but it's out off hands and through for another minor score. So Old Scotch, after a slow start where they couldn't get the ball out of the Fingal attacking zone, have been peppering the goals for the last 5 minutes. Mark taken there in defence from the kick in by Jonathan Smart. He'll go to that far side. Most of the game in the reserves grand final was played on that very far side of the ground. Ball kicked in, picked up there and quickly disposed of by Sean Smith. Back in front of goal it goes again, over the back, bouncing ball through traffic. French high, that'll bring rain, we don't need it. Ball comes down off hands, and this time it's gone out of bounds. So we'll have a boundary throw in. So Jason French getting plenty of the footy early for Old Scotch. Boundary umpire does his work, pushing and shoving from that back position, Charles White, and in fact giving away a free kick. Umpire originally allowed advantage and then decided there wasn't any, so the free kick will go back to big Jonathan Smart. Been prominent early, the big Fingal ruckman. Goes to the far side and leaping for the footy, but had no way of controlling it, Cameron Bugg. So we'll have yet another boundary throw in. Started in a similar fashion to the reserves grand final this, with a lot of boundary throw-ins on that far side of the ground. So there's another one, this time reaching over from the back, McFadgen for Old Scotch. Ball to the ground, Fingal working hard to get it out of there, and no joy. So we'll do it all again. You can probably see in some of Arnie's camera shots from Carter Productions that there's a big crowd in here at Youngtown, plenty of cars around that far side of the ground and plenty of people. NTFA will be quite pleased with the turnout today, I'm sure. We love our local footy. Smart gets it down cleverly to his teammate there in Trotter. Trotter gets it forward towards centre wing, and now Fingal on the overlap, get the ball out, and here they go forward. Loose man on the front edge of the centre square, and the mark taken there by John Smart. Smart with a long raking kick into full forward. Ted Davis with the one hand tried to bring the ball down to the small men, couldn't. Scotch get the ball out of defence, thumped away there by Anthony Walker. Down on the ground again it goes. There's a whistle on play, and it's going to be a free kick to Fingal here. And the little fella getting up with the free kick, Anthony Walker. Now, he gives it off. Obviously knew that this man could kick further than him, Richard Howard. He thumps it down into the forward pocket where it hits the ground and bounces out over the boundary line. Yes, the crowd quite deep here on the broadcast side down in front of us. They're enjoying the footy this afternoon. A bit cool out there without the sunshine now, but that's what it's been a bit this winter in Launceston. And we'll have another ball up just inside the 50-metre attacking zone for Fingal. And Ted Davis infringed in the ruck contest, appeals to the umpire, and the umpire will give it to the big fella. So he'll get it off quickly, the much-travelled Ted, and Old Scotch working overtime now to get it out of there. Ends up with Fingal, couldn't get the snap away cleanly. They go to ground after the footy, out it comes again. Spilsbury doing a bit of a push and a shove with his opponent. He'll get the loose ball, then handballed it straight to the opposition. Now, can Scotch make something of it here? A bit of a wobbly old kick, picked up by Smart, long kick, floating it into that offside pocket again with the breeze, and they need to get it a bit more central and to this side of the ground to make use of that breeze at that end of the ground, and Old Scotch working the ball out of defence around that far side. Bring it back into the centre corridor. On they go again quickly with the footy, bounces over the top there of Walker, goes back in the direction of Spilsbury. He takes the mark. Kicks it down forward, looking for a teammate, but lands there in the hands of the Old Scotch captain, Matthew Harvey. Harvey looking for a lead. Nothing much on offer, so he's going to put it down the throat of his Fingal opponent there, taking a nice one-hander, Brodie Lucas. He in turn turns the footy over, so there's been plenty of turnovers in this first quarter. Players going to ground again, and now there's going to be a free kick paid against Fingal for holding the footy. And getting up, holding his nose, in fact, it was Anthony Walker. So there's another turnover. It's snavelled back in towards full forward. Who can pick up the bouncing ball? Only the old Scotch boys, and now they've got the numbers to work it out of defence, and they bring it around to this broadcast side of the ground. Leading in the race for the ball, Duncan White. Spilsbury puts the pressure on him. Now here, they've got a chance to fire it in. That's the best place to put it out there. And Brodie Lucas that was. But once again, Scotch with the numbers in that last line of defence. They've had a power of work to do in this quarter. They've gone forward a couple of times and they've got one major on the board. They've missed 5 times, 1-5-11, leads a 1 behind, so it's been a titanic struggle in this first term. And Ted Davis gives away the free kick and then stands the mark. And Scotch bring the ball out, and that will be a front man's mark, will it? No, it's going the other way. Yes, it is a front man's mark. So old Scotch with the mark. Comes out here in the direction of the big fella Jonathan Spark, playing that kick across behind the game. He drives it back in the direction of Ted. Ted Davis can't pull it down. Ball on the ground, whistle on play, and it's going to be a free kick to Fingal. Gets it off quickly, does bug, and finds his teammate over there in Anthony Walker. So Walker lining up to try and get the first major on the board for Fingal. Got up holding his nose after a clash a little while ago. He's gone short and he's found his teammate there. I think it's Brad Trotter, is it? Yes, it is. It's Brad Trotter. And Trotter a little bit further around, reduced the angle in front of goal and just a fraction closer, and he comes in and winds up, brings it to the far side, and that's also going to be a mark, and that'll be taken by Laycock. Calibre Laycock being put around on the angle by the umpire. So Laycock will go back and maybe he can get the first major. In he comes. Deliberate approach. Oh, there's the wind floating the ball way across the goal face. The car horns blow. I don't know whether that was a reception for what they thought was a goal or a reception for what they were glad missed. So now we're waiting for the ball to come back into play. We've got 2 footies on the ground. So the umpire will remove one of them. And we'll go back and kick them all in eventually. So the Scotch full back with the ball under the arm. He'll bring it to this side of the ground. Over the back of the pack, taken by Denham. Touches the ball down and squares it up inside the corridor to his teammate there in Bug, who wanted to give it off. Goes into that defensive pocket looking for and finding Big Ted. The I've been everywhere man, Ted. Has a bit of a warm up. Settles down over the footy. The great man comes in and hits it hard and showed the experience of really kicking the ball flat and hard into the breeze. And he's got the first goal on the board for the Blues. So it's 1-5-11, leading 1-2-8. Scotch in front by 3 points. Of course, we play time on, 20 minutes plus time on in each quarter in the seniors. The approved rules of Australian football. And Allison getting the ball away from that centre bounce. Right down towards full forward. The race is on. Whoa! The two Fingal boys run into one another. One of them slides into the goalpost. But he's all right. He's up and away. And might have a sore set of ribs, but he's fine. Josh Smart goes to protect the goal square. After the footy and having a snap on goal. 21 for Scotch. Sam Burrell. And Burrell puts through his first major, his team's second major. So a quick answer there to the Old Scotch team in this grand final. They lead 2-5-17 to 1-2-8. 24 minutes gone in the first term. Umpire doing some gardening in the centre circle. Puts the ball down. Smart versus McFadden. Scotch free kick. Gives it off for his trouble. Allison caught with the footy. Sold him into trouble, did the big fella when he gave him the handball. And free kick ends up in the hands of Laycock. He goes to the far side of the ground, down in front of the scoreboard. Over the back comes the hard-working hands of Sam Lyon down there for Old Scotch. He's had a lot of work to do. Ball around the centre wing, one-on-one contest there over the back of the pack. No one can gain the ball cleanly. Finally, Old Scotch will get away with this. He'll have a bounce around that centre wing. He's had one. He's got to kick it now, and he does. Right down towards centre half forward in front of goal over the back of the pack. Who's going to be first onto it? And he's done it again, has he? Same man? No? 47 was the goal kicker, and that was Jake Casey. 42 in actual fact it was, Sam Bond. We don't know whether he's a relation of Allen's or not, but Sam Bond has put that third major through for the Old Scotch Collegians. So, opened at a pretty rapid rate this game. The ball's swung around pretty quickly from one team's front to back. Now the ball up in the centre. McFadden, good tip down to Allison. Allison on the left foot, puts it down towards half forward. Almost a Scotch mark, almost held without the footy as well. They pile in on it on the top. Umpire went to blow the ball up. It came out, so he put the whistle down. And now Fingal can run it away through the agency there of Cameron Guard. Cameron Guard, the ex-Longford player, gets it out to centre wing, and the mark will be paid there to Old Scotch. So they'll go back into attack. Almost a mark, not quite controlled in the finish by Old Scotch over there on the far side of the ground. Back in front of goal it goes. Ball comes to ground off the hands of Charles White. Smart handballs it out in the direction of his teammate there in Walker. He couldn't control the ball, got away from him, and we'll have yet another boundary throw in on that far side of the ground. 27 minutes gone first term. Working our way towards the end of the quarter. French couldn't control it. Got a handball away, did the Fingal man. Stepping through the traffic there, Heathlow. Fingal working hard here, trying to make sure that's a high tackle, I would think. No. Umpire Bass comes in. Both umpires were about to move in on that pack. Umpire Bass got there first, and he'll do the ball up. Smart, looking at his opponent before putting his eyes up on the footy. And ball comes down where another stalemate develops. Take two. It's a smart outreach by McFadden again. McFadden timing those ruck contests just a little bit better. Bouncing ball over the head of Lyon. And here goes the busy little Anthony Walker again for Fingal, getting it down right in front of goal. Punch comes from the back by Richard Howe. Ball to ground. Fingal in there fighting hard, trying to do something with the ball. Ends up in the hands of Bug. Quick snap on goal. Bouncing ball came straight back over the head of the Scotch player. Going in, Richard Howe couldn't get there quick enough. Now he lays the tackle. Handball comes clean. Close to the boundary line. Beaten by the siren. And so, at a quarter time, in the senior grand final of Division 2, NTFA grand final day, here at Youngtown Oval. As you can see there on the scoreboard, Scotch 3-5, 23, lead Fingal in this opening term, a 1-2-8. Goal kickers for Scotch, all singles to Sam Burrell, George Walker and Sam Bond, and the single goal kicker for the Fingal Valley Blues, Ted Davis. We'll be back with the second quarter for you shortly.
Rachel Lee, Bridge North in front.
Second term underway. And the big men, Smart and McFadgen, fly for the footy in the centre again. McFadgen gets quick hands off to Allison. Allison been busy in that second half of the first term. Went straight through the arms there of the Scotch player. And I think that might well have been White. And ends up in the arms up here now with a teammate in Moore. He can't get free. Now they can get free through the agency of the long striding Sam Lyon out towards centre wing. Who's going to win the race in the footy out there? It's going to be Scotch, still trying to work the ball out of defence. Go for the handball over the top, lost his head, and the umpire says, I think it might have been a high tackle, and he'll get the resultant free kick. Long kick, down towards the attacking 50. Fingal stand firm. Mark taken in the centre of the ground by Scotch. They'll transfer the ball out here to this attacking side wing. Almost a mark taken there for them by George Walker. Couldn't bring it down to ground. Now goes back in after it. Falls over. Fingal keep their feet. Can they work the ball out of defence? Good play. Gets it out of defence. Hugs the boundary line. Sitting underneath it there is Lyon, who's been indeed a busy player in defence for Old Scotch. Oh, didn't see him coming. Ducked the head. Got the ball away luckily. And now they've got a chance to bring it around this broadcast side. Waiting at the fall of the ball there cleverly was Brodie Lucas. Gives it by hand off to Love. Comes back forward towards his teammate there in Bug. He can't control the ball. Boundary line's the winner. And we'll have a boundary throw in down here in front of us. Opened at a pretty fast pace. French parked on the front of the pack. McFadgen goes over the top looking for his teammate there in Morris. Wow. A high tackle, and you had the good view of that at home. And getting up to take the free kick, Jacob Norris. And that's a good mark to Fingal by Spilsbury. To Spilsbury on centre wing. Stabs the ball down in the direction of Ted Davis. He's pushed to the ground, but reading the ball beautifully at the fall of the pack there was, I think it might have been Trotter. Kicks the ball forward. Comes up over the head of the Fingal player, close to the boundary line. Old Scotch squeeze it around the boundary, and we'll have a boundary throw in. Midway between centre wing and half forward flank. Here on the main stand side at the Youngtown Oval. Old Scotch leading the grand final by 15 points. Ted Davis does the ruck work for Fingal, brings it to the ground. And strong tackle as they roll out over the boundary line. And Luke French it was tackled hard there by his opponent in Jake Casey. And boundary throw in. Pillsbury working hard, gets the ball to a teammate, comes forward. Sam Tucker gets rid of a little nudge to his opponent and gets rid of him, and that's almost out on the full as Fingal try to keep the ball in play. Matthew Lowe was the captain coach there and he can't do so, so we'll have a boundary throw in. Free kick to be taken here by Old Scotch. Interference before the boundary throw-in. Umpire Bass right onto that. So Norris again with the free kick. Free kick given away there by Brodie Lucas from Fingal. Now the ball's parked back in the centre square and we'll have a ball up. Daniel Smedley's brought in the chip food for us. That's good of him. Ball thrown up, comes to the ground, and we'll do it all again. Smart and McFadden continue to do battle in the ruck. Third ball up. Ball's only moved 10 metres. So no one can get the ball free of these throw-ups. Thrown to the ground there is Brad Trotter. Ball trickles out. Another stalemate developing. Number 4. So 23 plays 8. 5.5 minutes into the second term. Grabbing the ball off the pack there and squeezing it forward. Old Scotch. Can they make something of this move forward? No. Cut off in defence by the tumbling Heath Lowe. He'll go to the centre wing with a long clearing kick. Races on out there between the two number 4s. Norris for Old Scotch. Wins the ball from Anthony Walker. Now the help comes. Fingal squeeze it forward. It'll go to the 50-metre mark. And once again, Lyon roving across that back line from left to right. Gets over there and takes the mark. He'll go short towards centre wing. Finds a teammate out there. And he's looking to see where he can go. Not much on offer. So he's going to drive it as long as he can down towards directly the centre wing. And it's out over the boundary line for another throw in. So it's a tight tussle out there. No one prepared to give an inch at the moment. It's hard in close. Boundary umpire's throw in fell a little short. And Old Scotch take the mark. Get it towards 50 in front of the scoreboard. And another boundary throw in. So we've got an injury there to one of the low boys. Looks like a wrist injury. And a bad one at that by the look of the way he's hanging onto it. So Fingal, the man down at the moment as the ball comes around the centre wing. Coming on to replace him there is Andrew Roach. Mark taken by French. French onto the right foot. Stabs it down towards full forward. Over the back of the pack it goes. Fingal lead in the race for the ball. Not clear in the tackle. Stacks on the mill. Old Scotch show strength and come out with the ball. Good smother. Well, it was a smother. I think he's wearing it now. Fair in the midriff, the Fingal player. Kicked out towards where French can't control it. Now, here's a chance for Fingal. Brad Trotter away with the 40. Down towards 50. Over the back of the pack it comes. Well cut off. Spilsbury, is it? Gets around, and he just bugged it at the end. Bugged it to the near side and through for a minor to Fingal. So that's their first score in this second quarter, Fingal. Comes out in the direction of Lyon. He takes yet another mark. He'd have to be in contention at the moment, this man, for best on the ground. It's a wobbly old kick. And out over the boundary line it goes. So we'll have a boundary throw in down in front of the main stand area here at Youngtown. Fadgen in there to do battle, this time with Spilsbury. Spilsbury follows the ball to the ground, stacks on the mill, and the umpire will take a stat here. Ted Davis to do the ruck work, gets rid of McFadgen, gets it down in the direction of Matthew Lowe. He can't control it, and that is going to be a free kick to Fingal. And it will be taken by Nick Denham. Kicks it forward inside the 50. Thrown to the ground in the tackle. Oh. And he's paid a push in the back. Slow reaction by the umpire, but kicks out to the far side. Old Scotch can work this around that far side centre wing. There's been a lot of play out there today in both games, and they take the mark. Onward they go, and lands in the hands down there of Norris, is it? Anyway, he's quickly on with play. Close to the boundary line again from the marking contest. And another throw in. Fair crowd over there in the area of the scoreboard. Must be something going on over there. Old Scotch, weight of numbers, get the ball. Here's a chance. Allison caught with the footy and going to be penalised. Been caught a couple of times, Allison, running with the footy. Back into the centre square it comes. Bouncing football. Trotter couldn't control it. Neither could Walker. Out on the far side of the ground once again. Leading in the race for the ball out there was Fingal, but they couldn't get to the ball before the boundary line. And there'll be another throw in. So just lacking a bit of fizz here at the moment, both sides in this grand final. Typical grand final where it's a hard-fought battle. No one prepared to give in. And another ball up. Allison going in there for Old Scotch. Brody Lucas keeping him company. Comes out. Scotch pick up the ball and fire it in forward. And this time it's a mark. I think it might be Tommy Allison. So in he comes. Winds up. Gives it the heave-ho. And he's got it. And it was Tommy Allison. So number 3, Tommy Allison, one of the vice captains for the Old Scotch side, gets a second quarter goal. So they move to 4-5, 29, leading Fingal in the grand final, 1-3-9. So that's the first major in this second term to Old Scotch. Infringement in the rucking contest. And no, it was off the rucking contest in actual fact. So So Allison gets the free kick. Been busy all day. Just sometimes tries to carry the ball a little too far and has been caught a couple of times doing that, but he's been a major contributor to his team's performance so far. And he gets it again then and spears it out towards half-forward flank where a tumbling mark's taken out there for them by French. Down towards full forward goes the ball, over the back, Fingal, pick it up through the agency of Denham, but the boundary line once again too close. So he trundles it out over the boundary line, and the boundary umpire's about to bring it back into play. Whistle on play, the umpire pointed in the direction of a Fingal free kick originally, but it's going to end up in the hands of Allison again, is it? Pick the player up for you in a minute. It's a good shot at goal, and he's hit the post. So, I don't know whether we should call him salt or whether we should call him pepper, but he's certainly in everything in this second term, Tommy Allison. Ball kicked back into the centre circle. Scotch tackled high. No, said the umpire. Play on. Kicked forward in a hurry there by Laycock. Out of defence comes old Scotch through the agency there of Bales. Mark on centre wing, quickly down towards centre half forward, and that's a good strong grab overhead. And the mark taken down there by Big George. George going for his second major, kicked one in that first term. Pretty well up and down the centre axis here at Youngtown. He's got that breeze to contend with coming across the face of goal at the city end. Doesn't quite make the distance, and that's going to be a smart mark by Smart in the last line of defence. Brings it out where the mark's taken here by Matthew Lowe. He's quickly on with it looking for Spilsbury, finds him. Spilsbury turns onto the left foot and honours the lead there of his teammate. Gives it quickly off to Lowe again. Lowe spears it down to Big Ted, and Big Ted falls to the ground and grabs the ball on the way down on the second grab. And he'll go back with the breeze behind him and kick towards the airport end of the ground. And don't be surprised if the big man puts this one through. The familiar warm-up, and in he comes. Plenty of air. Will it carry? It will carry on the wind, but it didn't bend. So Ted gets a minor score. There's the kick in from full back. Looking in the direction down there of McFadgen. He couldn't mark it. There's been a whistle, and it's an umpire free kick. Yeah, an umpire free kick. So the umpire takes the ball and tosses it in the air. And away they race. Scott's looking a little bit too nippy around the ground at times for the opposition. George Walker again. The aerialist takes the mark, stabs it in towards his teammate there in Burrell, and Burrell, also a goal kicker in that first term, takes the mark at the top of the 50. Down in front of goal, the pack fly comes off hands. They get it out of defence. There's no one here for them, however, to get it. Lowe's coming over now to try and do battle with his opponent. Oh, cleverly evaded there by Moore. Moore gets it back down towards the 50-metre arc. Fingal standing firm down there. Allison fumbles the footy. Whoa, over the top goes his teammate. Play on, says the umpire. I'd hope so. And a ball up will result, I would think, in a moment, and it does. Matthew Lowe picking himself up there as one of the last players off the ground. Allison again with another kick. Gets it down right towards the front of the square. punch away. Fingal battle the ball out of defence, falls into the hands of Denham. He can't do much with it. Low in there. Stacks on the mill, and he's going to be knocked off for the holding the footy. Is the Scotch player. The cruelest rule in the game. Sam Moore it was, caught with the footy underneath him. Oh, big leap from line that time. Reading the ball beautifully off the pack was Bug. There's been a whistle on play back here, and the free kick is going to go to Brad Trotter. It's going to go to Moore, and that was against Smart, which wasn't real smart. You can see him in the background there, trudging back towards the goal square. Not a smart thing to do when the umpire's standing close by. So we wait for the ball to come back, to be given to Moore. So he gives it off by hand to Norris. Norris steadies, squares the ball into the corridor. Players go to the ground once more, and Lowe coming off for a spell, and on to replace him, Nick Denham for Fingal. And there'll be a Fingal free kick here at centre half back. We get to the centre wing. Mark taken there by Laycock. He sneaks it around the corner looking for Spilsbury. Bad bounce, that allows Norris in. Spilsbury goes back in and wins it cleverly. Gets the handball away. And that's surely after the ball was disposed of, but the umpire in fact was not looking. Looked to where the ball goes. Fateful mistake, Mr. Umpire. Gets the ball down towards centre half forward. Mark taken there on the run by Tucker. He gets it off, gets it back. Then he'll give it off again. So out of defence they come with good teamwork. Get it down towards the front 50. Punched away there by the Fingal defence. Ball running loose on the ground and another whistle on play. And Fingal will take the free kick. So it's a game between the half-back lines at the moment. Fingal coming forward again. Getting in the way there, Ebden. Over the top he goes, bundled out of the way. Spilsbury grabs hold of McFadgen. McFadgen on the bottom of the pack. Can't get the ball out of there, and it's going to be a ball up. Throw up, Spilsbury in there doing the ruck work. Oh, was that a high tackle? It might have been the second time round. No, it's going to be another ball up. Thrown in the air by the umpire, the ruckman go for it. Comes down to ground where Spilsbury goes in after it, can't pick it up. Quick hands get the ball out in the direction of Scotch there through the agency of Evans. He struggles it forward, comes into the hands of Good Luck. He fires the handball down towards the direction of the scoreboard. Going in after the ball again is Evans for Old Scotch. Ball's kicked out, they're on the move here. That wasn't 15 metres, so play on's the call. Now, Fingal are under some pressure. Oh, he's fumbled the ball right in the goal square. Pressure's on here. They pile in after the footy, and the umpire says, "Give it to me, boys. We'll have a toss-up right in front of goal." 22 minutes gone, and that's a snap on goal for Old Scotch, and we'll wait to see who it was. Walker again. Getting the ball when it came down off the pack and snapping it through for a very quick goal. Quick thinking, his second goal in the game. His team's fifth. So it's 5-6, a 36 to Old Scotch, leading Fingal, who are 1-4-10. Haven't been able to get a goal on the board in this term, Fingal. Scotch just looking a little quicker, a little stronger. Teaming a little bit better in bringing the ball out of defence. Throw up in the centre to get the game restarted. Ball bobbling around. Comes out once again by hand into the direction of Burrell. He's down on hands and knees and gives it off there to Moore. Moore drives it down towards centre half forward. In the front and a good mark. Strong mark taken for Fingal down there in that last line of defence. Pokey little kick out in the direction there from Gavin Love. So Matthew Lowe coming off again for Fingal. Might be in a bit of trouble with an injury, I think. So being treated down here on the boundary line now by the Fingal trading staff, Matthew Lowe. Here's a chance for them for a shot on goal from Trotter. Gives it plenty of air, too much air, and it's out on the full adjacent to the behind post at the airport end of the ground. So, big kick out of defence, it'll clear the 50-metre mark. Lyon bends down, picks the ball up. Had a lot of work to do in defence for his team in these first two quarters, as Sam Lyon. And will await the boundary throw-in. Avis over the top for Fingal. Tries to bring the ball down to ground to advantage to his teammate. Comes out here where Ebden picks it up. Goes for a run. Has one bounce. He has two bounces. He runs the opponents off their legs. Kicks it down. It'll end up inside 50. Oh, bold was Walker on that occasion. Goes back in for the tackle. Ball comes free. And out over the boundary line. No, there's going to be a free kick. And it'll go in the direction of Smart. So, Smart comes around our broadcast side of the ground looking for Laycock. Ball comes to ground. They get free. And nasty little side jab there from the Fingal player. And here goes Laycock. Fires the ball in. And there's a Scotch player down on the ground behind play. Nick Ebden it is, and now Scotch working the ball out through Sam Burrell. Free kick will be taken there by Walker. Walker spears it out where the mark's taken out there by Allison, is it? I think so. No, it wasn't Allison. A bit too bulky. Might have been French. All down towards the front 50 for Scotch. Getting in the way down there once again is Denham to take the mark. So he puts it forward. Holding his front position there was Trotter. Couldn't bring the ball down, however. Now he goes back in and gets it. Flung to the ground. Play on, says the umpire. And now he'll go in for a ball up. So we're working our way towards the end of this second term. Almost at half time. 25 minutes gone in this second quarter. Ball comes free out of the pack, but it's come out to Scotch's advantage. And they stab the ball forward. Looking for a teammate. And there, folks, is the half-time siren. And at half-time, as we go to the scoreboard to show you the half-time score, we find that it's Scotch leading the grand final, 5-6-36. Fingal, a 1-4-10. So we're halfway through this senior grand final here at Youngtown on NTFA Division 2 Grand Final Day.
Back to draw the raffle for the Hawks football jumper signed by the 2013 senior team. It's a red ticket, 328234. A red ticket, 328234. A red ticket. If you have that ticket, if you make your way to the back stairs to the the South Launceston Bar.
So getting things in readiness here for the start of the third term in the NTFA Grand Final of Division 2, the game between Old Scotch and Fingal. Old Scotch going into the half-time break with a 26-point lead, 5-6-36, playing 1-4-10. Our pictures today are being brought to you by the great man Arnie from Carter Productions, where they're quite able to do anything that you want with your electronic media, your video, your audio, your film transfers, whatever you want to do. Go and have a talk to Arnie, because he'll put it onto a DVD, onto a CD, whatever you want to do. Carter Productions in George Street in the city. And there's the ball up to get the third quarter underway. I'm Terry Fellows as we bring you this description of the NTFA Grand Final Division 2, the Senior Grand Final. And Fingal with some work to do. They trail by 26 points as we start this third term. Down into attack and thieving the ball from the back of the pack. There was Ricky Evans, and putting through the first goal in the third quarter to Old Scotch, and that makes the Fingal job just that little bit more difficult.
Daniel Smedley. We have a winner, Daniel Smedley.
Daniel Smedley won his own raffle. It's all right, you've said it now. He's going to take the prize. So, in the rucking for Fingal now, we've got Ted Davis. Ball comes to the ground, fired it into their forward line. The race is on for the footy, trying to swoop the ball back there. Matthew Lowe playing in the forward line now, and after having an injury just before half time. And we'll have a ball up down towards centre half forward. Once again, we make mention of this wonderful crowd in here for the grand final, supporting the local footy. Well done, folks. Great to see. Old Scotch working the ball around that far side centre wing, trying to hang on to this lead and build on the lead that they've got in the grand final so far. Mark taken by Fingal out there on the far side. Brings it back in, and Davis caught behind his Old Scotch opponent and can't knock the ball to ground. Back inside to the centre half forward position for Old Scotch. They wait for the ball at the back of the pack. Here's a chance for them. A handball off, running into an open goal, making no mistake. Corey Goodluck puts through his first goal for the game, and Old Scotch are starting to race away in this third term. 7-6-42 leads a 1-4-10. First two goals in this first few minutes of the opening third quarter on the board to Old Scotch, kicking that airport end to the ground. So, will this be a double victory for the Old Scotch boys, having won the reserves grand final here earlier on this afternoon, 97-52. They lead this one currently by 6 goals. And they take another mark on centre wing and on the burst past with the ball tucked under his arm. And a free kick to Old Scotch. Once again within scoring distance of goal. And it's the big man George Walker, lining up for goal number 3. Going a long way back off the mark, the Fingal man on the mark there, Gavin Love. Walker steady in his approach, too steady in actual fact, missed by a large margin from that distance out, and a minor score. So 7-7-49, one of those anomalies of football scores, 7-7-49. Fingal bring the ball in, get it outside their defensive 50, but reaching up and picking the ball out of the air there, Lachlan McFadden. Quickly onto the right foot, drives it back into from whence it came, over the back of the pack, Walker falls to the ground, couldn't take the mark. Fingal run out of bounds with the ball. No, they don't. Cleverly keep it in, bring it round here towards centre wing. Spilsbury has the ball knocked away from him, close to the boundary line and out of play, so we'll have a boundary throw in. Sunshine starting to bathe the ground here again. Ted Davis going into the ruck now for Fingal. Out towards Spilsbury, couldn't quite control it. And once again he sees the ball out over the boundary line before he can do anything with it. Throw in, ball comes to ground, low, breaks his way through the traffic, kicks it down towards his attacking zone. Scotch with the numbers, work it by hand towards the boundary line, and that's where it ends up out of play. Strong throw in by the boundary umpire. Ruckman don't get off the ground, but they bring the ball to ground. McFadden there bending down, picking the ball up, firing the handball back into the centre corridor. Don't know if he'd have done that if there'd have been a closer score on the scoreboard. Smart drives the ball back in, leading in the race line, jumping for the ball there. Richard Howe couldn't control it, goes down underneath again for it. Lyon and Howe do battle on the ground, whistle on play, and it's going to be a free kick, is it? No, it's going to be a ball up, and umpire's just changing position. Ted Davis working tirelessly in the ruck in this quarter so far. For Fingal, quick hands, get it out. Here's a running shot at goal, and that looks like it's a good one. And we'll wait and see if we can pick up who kicked the goal for you. It's number 7, which is Richard Howe, finally getting a third quarter major on the board for Fingal, and they're just their second in the game. So they move on to 2-4-16, trailing Old Scotch, who are 7-7-49. So he worked hard for that, Richard Howe. He was in that struggle for the ball some 30 metres back from that, and ran forward with the ball up and ended up with a nice goal. Laycock pushes his opponent out of the way, comes down in the direction of Spilsbury. Spilsbury gets his hand to the footy. Laycock goes back in after it and gets it. In fact, it was Trotter. Trotter over the far side looking for Davis. Davis was off with it before he had it. Looks for a free kick for a push in the back. The umpire having none of that, so we'll have a ball up instead, just inside the 50-metre mark for Fingal. So the Fingal Valley Blues. Davis will get the free kick. Interfered with in the ruck contest. McFadden stands the mark. Now, can Ted kick this far? He's going to have a go at it, I think. Yes. There's the trial run. And in comes the big teddy bear. Gives it plenty of air again, the big fella, and I tell you what, I reckon that's gone horribly close. No, the goal umpire unimpressed, stands the line and finally forced through for a minor score. So, 2-5-17. They trail by 32. Scotch bring the ball around this side and taking a nice mark there. Overhead Charles White. Quickly on with the footy, down in the direction of Walker. Walker goes to the ground again. He does that a lot. Now brings the ball out here and the mark's taken in front of us by Nick Walker. Down in the direction of his teammate there in Bug. He crashes the pack, but Scotch take the ball away. Long kick with the breeze, down in the direction of Evans. Evans can't control the ball as it bounces over the boundary line in front of him for a boundary throw in, half forward flank. Bit of a choppy surface over there at the moment. So we await the boundary umpire doing his work. Davis in there to do battle with White. Ball comes to ground. Pack develops. Going nowhere. So we'll have yet another throw up. Davis palms the ball over the pack. Fingal forced the ball back towards centre wing, but the bounce of the ball was cruel for Fingal. Favoured old Scotch. Over the top of the footy, and Fingal get the free kick. Out of the pack it comes. Nice little nudge out of the contest there, but he couldn't take the mark. Stacks on the mill once again, and the umpire quickly calls for the ball up this time. Heath Lowe appealing for the free kick. Nothing forthcoming. So once again, the ball on the ground. Brad Trotter in there, comes out. Scotch can run away with this footy, and once again with a nice long kick down, races on and tucking the ball under his arm and sprinting away there. I think it might have been Smart. Scotch fire it back in again. Walker goes to ground again. Slow to get up this time, and hobbles back towards centre half forward as the umpire will come in and do his work. Reaching over the top then was McFadgen, gets it down, but here go the Blues out of defence through the agency of Lucas. A tumbling mark taken down there by Lyon. Play on, says the umpire, as the Fingal man pushed off the front of the pack. They regain the footy, however, and fire it back inside 50. Oh, that was almost a mark, and he's going to be paid the free kick. Holding in the marking contest, and Heath Lowe will be the recipient of the free kick. So, be a handy goal if he can get it. Be a real handy goal for his team if he can get this in the right place. Got to aim a little for the left and let the wind do the rest. And that's what he does, but as you can see, the breeze just took it away and through for a minor score. Very tricky at that end of the ground, and that breeze coming through the gap. Always has been, always will be. Until they build the multi-million-dollar stand there to protect the corner. So kick back towards centre wing. Crash the pack. Ball comes to ground, and here goes Tommy. Tommy drives it inside 50. Tommy Allison. Oh, bounced off the chest of the big fella down there in Josh Smart. Scotch with the footy, working it quickly by hand. Allison again snaps the kick away, and then couldn't play the tackle. So Fingal steady, come out. They jump for the footy down there. Lucas couldn't hang on to it. Another snap on goal. Oh, the big fella's going to get a free kick, is he? Yes, he is. So the free kick will go down there to Andrew Roach. He brings it out. They bring it around the centre wing. Good defensive work there from the back. A good spoil by Duncan White. Punching the ball away at the last minute from Richard Howe. Davis and McFadgen do battle, comes down to ground. Fingal pick it up, tackled just as he picked it up, and a little bit of anger shown there by Rowan Smith, wanting to dispose of the Fingal coach, who was restrained, I thought, on that occasion. Wasn't really interested in having a go back. Meantime, the ball's worked down towards centre half forward for Scotch. And another ball up. We've had a few of these in the game. Comes to ground. Oh, Fingal player got a head coming back into his face, and now he's landed. The ball landed in his lap. He quickly got the handball away, and there's going to be a free kick, and it'll go in the direction of Smart. So he'll come out here to this wing, leaping over the back and almost hanging on to it long enough. Cameron Bug goes back in after it. Now they can work the ball out through the agency of Goodger. He runs with the footy, gets it down to the front 50. Over the back, the mark's taken by Guard. Guard goes on with it, puts it right down into the teeth of goal. Oh, the ball sits right up on its end. Still got a chance. Over the shoulder, and he's got it. Heath Lowe puts one through. His first goal in the game. So, Fingal, slowly but surely, trying to force their way back into this game. 3-6-24, trail 7-7, 49. Been a little while since Old Scotch have actually scored a major. Scored 2 early in this term, but have struggled since to find the big opening, and we're 15 and a half minutes into this third term. Umpire about to do his thing. The two big men go at it once again. Ted Davis now doing the ruck work for Fingal. Working hard in there. Scotch going forward. That's not going to be a mark. Almost a good mark as he fell to the ground there. Charles White. And snap on goal underneath. Tricky. Ricky Evans puts his second third quarter goal on the board. Snuck it underneath the Fingal player's arms and through for a major. So that steadies the ship a little bit for the Old Scotch Collegians in the grand final. They move on to 8-7-55. 3-5-24 Fingal. And we've travelled 17 minutes almost in this third term. They set themselves for the bounce, and it's a good one by the umpire this time. Davis trying to get it down to Lowe. Lowe ends up with the footy, however, and brings it out on the left foot. Almost, he's going to pay the mark. Might have been lucky. Jacob Norris. This time, standing in the way of the falling ball was Denham. Quickly off by hand. And the boundary line will win out once again before Roach could get to it. Brad Trotter tried hard all day for Fingal. Davis cops one to the face from McFadgen, but play allowed to go on. And coming to the footy there for Old Scotch, Rowan Smith, but cutting his run off Brad Goodger. Right down in front of our camera position. As you can see, the boundary umpire throws the ball in. Davis tries to bring the ball down. Trotter wrapped up in a strong tackle. And the umpire says, give it to me. Throws it up. Fingal worked the ball forward. Here's a chance for a nice mark on the chest there by Guard. Getting a little bit busier now, Guard. Puts the ball out in front of goal. Lowe couldn't hang on to it. Here's a chance for them. No, ball goes to ground. Stacks on the mill. And the umpire's satisfied that it wasn't going to come out of there. So he bends down, picks the footy up, and he'll throw it in the air. 55 plays 24. You can see on the scoreboard there in the background. Fingal worked the ball around. McFadgen drops the mark. Bundled out of the way by Guard. Is that a high tackle? No. Umpire having a good look at it, picking it up on the outside of the pack I think that was Laycock, puts it out in front of goal, ball comes down, guard gets it, snap on goal, miss, kicked. Fingal, Scotch with the numbers, can come out of defence. Here's a one-on-one battle between Lowe and his opponent from Old Scotch. Picking the ball up, working it back inside Richard Howe. Here's a chance, can he kick the distance? Good job, right down to the front of the goal. On the ground, snap on goal, but too far round to one side. Snap coming there from Mitchell Stagg. So another minor score. So 25 plays 55. 5-goal ball game in the third term. And Richard Howe, unhappy with the treatment he received there from the Old Scotch player, so proceeded to bounce the ball off his head. Very unsportsmanlike. So big Ted Davis in the ruck with McFadden. Ball running free. Centre half back for Old Scotch. Squeeze the ball out. It's going to land in the hands there of Sean Smith. Couldn't control the ball. Comes to ground. Line. Wraps his opponent up in a tackle. Low. Puts the ball forward. And a bit of a push and a shove here. And they've been pretty restrained so far, the players. Looked like a push and a shove here a little while back, but nothing much eventuated, and so there hasn't been too much fisticuffs. But there is a little while to go yet. Snap on goal by Trotter, and I think it's gone through. It has. So Fingal continue to work their way back into the game. Back to a 4-goal ball game. 8-7 plays 4-7. Third quarter, 21 minutes old. So, now we're into the exhausting stages of the game. The last quarter and a half, where it's going to be a survival of the fittest. And Ted Davis has made a bit of a difference since going into the ruck, in actual fact. He's got his hand on the ball at a lot of these ruck contests and bringing it down. And here he is again to do battle with McFadden. McFadden, of course, has been in there all day long. Davis again looking to bring it down to his coach in Low. He's wrapped up in a tackle, goes to the ground, gets up slowly, and there's the throw up. Whoop, McFadden may have got one a little high, but the umpire allows play to go on. Goes back in the direction of Williams, and Williams takes the mark. Inside the defensive part of the centre square. Goes to the far side of the ground once again. They like it out there. Bad bounce. Goes over the top of line before he could get to it. Here goes a chance for Fingal once again. Whoops, almost turned back into trouble, but gets out in the finish on the left foot. Down looking for Trotter. And, oh dear, second lucky mark being paid to Norris in this quarter. And he was paid one out here in front of us earlier on in the quarter, which I thought he was a bit lucky. And he was a bit lucky with that one too, I reckon. However, Rigney with the ball now as a result of that mark to Norris and Old Scotch to bring the ball around. Ball smothered off the mark. He's good enough to get it back though, the little man, and kick it in where he finds a teammate just outside the edge of the centre square. Ricky Evans, Tricky Ricky, gets the ball down. Approaching 50, and here comes Smart out of defence. A balanced and smooth mover, this man. Kicks it right down towards full forward, and Ted Davis nudged out of the contest, was he? And no, it wasn't Ted in actual fact on that occasion, because Ted's up here now somewhere hovering around the background, and this time the mark's not paid to Old Scotch. Duncan White couldn't control the ball and juggled it out over the boundary line. Davis brings the ball down to the front of the pack. Smart roving the footy. Low in there on hands and knees. Picks the footy up. Can't get it out. And umpire Bass calls for the ball and says, give it to me. Oh, yellow card coming out. Matthew Lowe being sent from the ground for an indiscretion. And a bit of a shame because he wasn't having such a bad quarter. The captain coach, he was getting things a bit revved up. But unfortunately, the indiscretion happened right in front of the reserve umpire. So, now, it'll be interesting to see what happens here now. Fingal players have got to keep their cool here because they were starting to get themselves a little bit more respectable on the scoreboard. Over the back, running into an open goal, and no. He couldn't get his foot to the footy and through for a minor score. It was Corey Goodluck, kicked an earlier goal in similar fashion in this quarter, Corey Goodluck. And now Fingal without their captain coach. Bring the ball around this defensive wing. Over the top, Ted Davis brings the ball to ground. They work it out the back, squeeze it through the pack. And Ryan comes off his shin and out on the full. Quickly taking the ball, Richard Howe getting it back into play. Guard as the kick smothered away. Now this man hasn't played too bad in that last line of defence. An unlikely looking character, but he knows how to get the footy. Does John Bales. Now, Old Scotch working it in and taking an easy mark, unattended, Sam Bond. Kicked a goal in that first term, Sam. Puts the ball on the ground, adjusts the socks. And he'll come in now and kick it goal. Gives the ball plenty of air, works its way to the near side. No, he didn't. Looked to me from here as if it might have been on this side of the post, but it must have been after it passed through the big opening, goal umpire right on it. So Bond gets his second goal in the game, and Old Scotch get their ninth. 9-8, 62, leads 4-7, 31 at the 27-minute mark of this third term. Away we go again in the centre of the ground. Fingal drive the ball forward again. Can they make something of this forward move? A high bouncing ball always seems to have a bit of a rare bounce in it, this ground. Not always a true bounce at Youngtown. And now, the Old Scotch boys have been knocked off for putting the ball out of bounds on purpose. Short kick goes down looking for Trotter. He can't control it. Another throw in. So Denham in the picture there. There'll be another Fingal free kick out of this. It's going to be taken by Spilsbury. Todd Spilsbury with the ball. Just inside 50, stands the man on the mark. He's once again up and down that major axis, so can he kick truly? Not a badly weighted kick, but that last line of defence is where the action is, and is going to be either a mark or a free kick awarded to Old Scotch. Comes out. Mark taken there by Burrell. He brings it around in turn, looking for his teammate in white, I think it was. Anyway, it's out off his hands and over the boundary line. Taken off the pack there by Richard Howe. Sneaks it in forward once again. Guard, can he get through the traffic? Quick handball off in the direction of his teammate there in Luke French. And French puts it through for another major. Goal umpire confers with the field umpire and everything's fine. So Luke French gets a Fingal goal in this third quarter. So it's back to around about a 4-goal game, 25 points. And 9-8, playing 5-7. 30-minute quarter. Nice high bounce. Davis gets a hand to it, gets it out, smart. Spilsbury grabs his opponent far too high, and there'll be a free kick going back now to Old Scotch to be taken by Duncan White. In toward the centre circle. Mark taken. Time running out in this third term now. High kick. Davis will take the mark on the chest. Gives it off by hand. He'll get it back. He in turn will then go by hand to Hayward. Hayward will put it out here where the mark's going to be taken. Had to prop and wait. And 50-metre penalty in actual fact. Sam Burrell, a little unfortunate there, knocked the ball, or did he knock the ball out of Brad Goodge's hand, but the 50-metre penalty, which is probably a bit short of 50. But anyway, he now goes back and stands on the mark, and this will allow Fingal through Brad Goodger to put another major on the board, if he can kick straight. In he comes. Hits the ball hard, it's floating, 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 and it's gone through. So, here come the Blues. They get within 3-2, 3-1 the difference. And the third quarter, sneaking ever so close to its finale. The umpire will throw the ball up. And well, that's how close it was to the end of the third quarter, folks. And at three-quarter time, as we go to the scoreboard for you, you can see it was a 32.5-minute quarter. Scotch 9-8-62, lead Fingal 6-7-43. Goal kickers for Old Scotch to three-quarter time. We've got 2 each to Sam Bond, George Walker and Ricky Evans, and 1 to Tommy Allison, 1 to Corey Goodluck, and 1 to Sam Burrell. And for the Blues, we're all single goal kickers, 1 each to Heath Lowe, Brad Trotter, Richard Howe, Ted Davis, Luke French and Brad Goodger. Just waiting for the players, supporters to get off the ground for the commencement of this final term on NTFA Division 2 Grand Final Day. A senior game between Old Scotch and Fingal. Old Scotch having won the reserves grand final against Evandale. So the umpire holds the ball aloft to get this final term underway. 19-point ball game. Ted Davis still in the ruck doing the work for Fingal. And they need to get an early goal to give them any chance of sneaking a victory in the grand final. And first into attack, Old Scotch, but it'll be cut off down there at centre half back by Fingal. Bring the ball out here in the direction of Spilsbury. Spilsbury will take the mark. He'll sneak it around the corner, looking for his teammate there, and couldn't find him. That was Bug. Ball comes to ground. Allison, who's gone out of the game a bit in this last term, Allison, he played a pretty busy first half, and the free kick's going to go to Duncan White here on centre wing. So White with the ball, puts it back down towards centre half forward. Come out of Smart's hands there. Ball goes to ground. They fall on top of the footy, and there'll be a ball up. Thrown high in the air. Ruck contest comes out. Handball out in the direction of French. French tries to turn it around the corner. Goes high in the air. Allison flies from the back, brings the ball to ground, goes back in and gets it. Here's a chance for Fingal to run it out through Goodger. Goes to centre wing. The race is on. Leading the race there's Howe, but he can't get to the ball before the boundary line. And it'll be a throw in out there on that far side wing. Boundary umpire does his work. Davis tries to slap the ball to the advantage of his Fingal teammates. Comes back down in the direction of Ricky Evans. Been pretty busy in that third quarter, Ricky Evans. And kicked 2 third quarter goals. Not too sure what's going on here. Wrong player took the kick, did he? So the ball will have to come back. Lands in the arms of Lucas. Lucas gets the ball moving with a raking kick down towards their 50-metre mark. Runs towards the boundary line. Leads in the race for the ball. Couldn't control it. Out over the boundary line for a throw in. Three minutes gone in this final term. Once again, the big men push and shove, and there's a whistle on play. Davis will take the free kick in that ruck contest. McFadgen's rucked tirelessly all day for Old Scotch. Comes off Trotter's hands, falls over the back of the pack. Quick snap on goal, minor score. So the first score in this final quarter. Bring the ball in from full back. They clear the 50-metre line. Bouncing ball out towards centre wing. Lands in the hands out there of Good Luck. He turns the corner, gets the ball back, and it's cut off by the Fingal defence. Brings it in. Smart will take the mark. Just inside the edge of the centre square. He'll go over the top looking for, oh dear. And the big bloke misses it. Tied. And out the centre wing it goes. Scotch will keep it, bring it back into Jason French. So French kicks it down, and another strong mark, this time by Laycock. Switches the ball to this side of the ground where Walker will take the mark. Comes down looking for Spilsbury, nudged out of the contest at the fall of the ball, however, gives it back to Walker. Walker will have one bounce as he runs into the centre corridor, brings it down, nice mark in front of his face there by Cameron Guard. Quickly onto his feet. On the right foot, Gives the ball plenty of air as it sails down towards the front of the goal square. Over the back, McFadgen. Gives that dropping the ball. Yes, it is, said the umpire, and it's going to be a Fingal free kick to be taken right on the top of the centre square. And free kick to Fingal. And the little fellow with the mark, with the free kick, after a good tackle on McFadgen, goes back and steers the ball through. Not too sure who it was. We'll pick him up in a minute for you. And it was Luke French getting his second goal in this second half of football here at Youngtown. So Luke French with 2, 1 in the third, 1 in this quarter. And Fingal kicking the first goal in the term and moving on to 50, trailing by 2 goals, 62 to Old Scotch. So just a 12-point ball game now. Fingal coming home hard. Still plenty of time, just 6 minutes gone in this final term. Out they come with the footy. Squeeze it around the corner, and that's a nice falling mark taken there by Anthony Walker. Strong hands, this little fella. Kicks the ball down towards centre half forward. Comes down to the front of the pack. Couldn't take it there cleanly, Bug. Still fighting for the footy. Long handball. Lands in the hands there of Goodger. He turns. Ball down towards full forward. Strong mark in defence by Old Scotch, and it was taken there by Harvey. So Matthew Harvey gets it out towards half-back flank. French. With the ball, half-back line. Spears the ball down towards centre wing. Up over the back of the pack, Old Scotch. They'll get the ball and drive it forward again from there. Races on for the loose ball. And it's going to be a Fingal free kick. He'll bring it back into the centre. Anthony Walker getting really busy. Had to get his kick in a hurry, did. Down and a strong mark once again. Almost in that last line of defence by Scotch to turn the attack out. 12-point ball game here. Plenty of time left in this final quarter. Just over 7 minutes gone. Can they get the bounce of the ball here? Fingal, no. Comes to Old Scotch. They get the ball away. French with the ball, turns, twist. Pardon me, gets it off. Punch out of the contest there. Fingal with plenty of work to do here. Old Scotch with the numbers around the 40. Squeeze the ball forward towards 50. Oh, good pick up there by Bim. Gets it around the corner. Shot on goal to the right-hand side, misses. So that's the first score in the term for Old Scotch. And they would have loved a major there. Kick coming in, marked by Smart. He'll go long into the centre of the ground. Over the back of it goes. Trying to get onto the footy there, Nick Walker. Ball locked up underneath. Umpire has no alternative but to come in and have a bounce. Which is now a throw-up, of course. Whistle, Fingal free kick. And Ted Davis, you go in and get the ball, old Teddy. Puts the long roll, almost hung onto it. Over the back, can he pick it up? Gets the handball away, can he kick it? And yes, he knows it's a goal. Luke French with another one. So Luke French, 2 goals in this final term. And he brings his team back within 1 goal. 7 points in actual fact is the difference, 63-56. So, now, Matthew Lowe back on the ground for Fingal, in there at the centre bounce. Tucker going back down into the back line, into the forward line, sorry. Tucker going into the forward line for Old Scotch. And boundary throw in, Smart trying to get the loose ball, does, and collides with his own teammate, trying to get out of there. High tackle, says the umpire, and the free kick will go in the direction of Sean Smith. Famous football name, Sean Smith, took that spectacular mark in the goal square for Melbourne a few years ago. So onward play he goes, onto the right foot, puts it out in front of goal towards centre half forward. Ball comes to the ground. In they go for the footy. Now no mistakes, boys. That's the way. Get it off the ground and get it forward. Doesn't matter, you don't have to be pretty at this stage of the game. Out there doing battles, Laycock for Fingal with his old Scotch opponent. And the field umpire says, I've got to come in and bounce it, boys. It's not going anywhere. Lyon on the outside of the pack there for Old Scotch. Umpire throws it high in the air. Ruckman do battle, comes down to ground, coming out of there with the ball was Scotch. They get it once again toward their attacking 50. Over the back of the pack, it's Fingal. Pick up the loose ball, bring it out here towards centre wing, a floating ball. Now, can he run onto it and pick it up? He does. He gets the kick away just in time. Does John Smart. Line doing battle once again, gets it over the top to Burrell. Burrell takes his time and fires it inside the centre square. There's some sore and tired boys out there at the moment. Mark taken there for Old Scotch by Casey. Casey puts it out towards centre wing on that far side of the ground. Last man standing at there now as they pile in on top of the footy. And umpire Bass says, give it me. And we'll throw it in the air again. Working ourselves towards the 12-minute mark of this final term. 7 points the difference. 63 plays 56. And here's Fingal. Can they keep it in front of them? He only had to knock it on past the player and go chase, but he couldn't. Number 4 in there for Fingal again, the little fella Anthony Walker. Played a pretty good last quarter, Anthony Walker, and once again it'll be a ball up. Players tired. Big ground. Bit warmer temperature at this time of the year. Comes down, they try to get it out of the pack. Scotch, squeeze it forward. Here's a chance. No, went for it one-handed. Get back in and get it. He did. And out of defence comes Scotch through the agency of Norris. They squeeze it out to the wing, and the mark's taken out there by Frankham. He'll go sideways, and he finds his opponent there. He's a teammate there in Moore. Moore will bring it back inboard, looking for and finding Frankham again. So, Scotch trying to get this ball forward, looking for avenues. Everything appears to be covered up, so he decides to go long. The big men down there for Fingal, and the mark's been taken by Smart. He'll bring it sideways, and he does. Comes out here to where the man's got loose in Goodger. Goodger runs with the footy, pops it over the top in the direction of number 22, Spilsbury. Spilsbury's been fairly busy all day for Fingal. Played a reasonable first quarter, Spilsbury. Looking to get it on, now being told to bring it into play by the umpire. Comes around with his right foot towards half forward. On the front of the pack was Old Scotch. They've got the numbers there. They work it out. Comes over the top. A bit of a loopy handball. He's caught with the footy. Gets it away, and he's going to be caught holding the ball, says the umpire. And a strong tackle there applied by Cameron Bug. Quickly on with the game. Oh, the lead was coming, but the mark's been taken for Fingal, and I think it might be Richard Howe. It is Richard Howe, and with an industrious walk upon him, goes back to line up to bring his team within a point if he can kick accurately. Straight up and down the major axis he is. Gives the ball plenty of air. It floats away to the far side. Minor score. 1 goal the difference in the grand final. 14 minutes gone. So, what was a pretty tame affair, at least on the scoreboard, for a lot of the game, has now closed up, and they're going to take another mark here, Fingal, as they get back and block up the gap. Ted Davis getting back to the ball, the experience of the big man. He drives it as far as he can drive it. Bit of a push in the back there, I think, yes. And advantage paid to Lyon. Lyon runs away with the footy. Kicks it down in the direction of Smart. Punched away by Fingal. picking it up there quickly and getting a hurried kick out of the pack. Goodger out in the open space as we go. No, that's Goodger with the ball. He gets it forward and almost a mark. Yes, a mark paid to McFadden in that centre half back position. He'll come to the defensive side of the ground and he's put it into the crowd. And that is out on the fall, and the resultant free kick will go to Brad Goodger here for Fingal. Quickly on with it, no one on the mark. Sets it up in front of the square, almost brought it down. Got it, snap on goal by French, and looking for another major, Luke French. He's got 3 in the game so far, and off to this near side, through for a minor score. 58 plays 63. Old Scotch in front by 5. 15 and a half minutes travelled in the term, and that's a good strong mark on the front of the pack. So, looking to see where he can go, decides to go to the wing. Leading in the race for the ball and pulling it down Ebden, I think it is Walker. Pardon me. So, on we go with the footy. Down towards half forward. Pack of players fly, ball comes to the ground. All of a sudden, Fingal looked to have found some legs in this contest. And, oh dear, they're getting the advantage of the umpire's calls. And he'll go back and have a kick. Man free on centre wing, gets the footy, avoids his opponent, spears it back inside 50. No, it's not quite inside 50. Fingal player falls to the ground, gives the handball off in the direction of Bug. He can't control it. They'll run it out through line again. He's been a stalwart in defence for Old Scotch this afternoon line. Gets it back down towards centre wing, midway between centre wing and half forward flag, out there in front of the scoreboard. Players tumble to the ground. In they come, picked up there by Williams. Williams does the back step and gets the ball forward where it's taken there by Richard Howe. Howe comes inboard, looking for and finding no one. They've dropped the ball. That, in fact, was Cameron Bug dropped the ball. He fights on after it, down towards centre half forward, comes off the hands of the pack, over the back. Spilsbury with the handball. They've caught him. And what's the umpire going to do? Yes, holding the ball, says the umpire. And it's play on. And away they run with the footy. Coming out of defence, the vice-captain, putting it down towards centre half forward. Players out on their feet. Walker now playing in defence for Old Scotch. Gets the ball over the top. And away they go back towards centre wing. They chase after the footy. Gets a handball. Oh, it's cut off there by Norris. Norris drives it down to the 50-metre mark. Bad bounce for Old Scotch. Comes to Fingal. Smart goes in after the ball. Smart work, just tapped it forward. Here's Norris again. Fires the ball down towards full forward for Scotch. Comes off the top of the pack. Smart playing that loose man in defence. Kicks it out. Here comes Fingal. He was off with it before he got it, but he goes back in after it. And now the umpire calls for a throw in. Fingal player calls for a push in the back. The Scotch player calls for deliberate. And the boundary umpire throws in a very flat throw in. And picking up and having a snap on goal. It's coming back, but not back far enough. Was a Rigney for Old Scotch and a minor score to Old Scotch, just their second in the quarter. Their second minor score, 9-10-64, leads 8-10, 58. One goal the difference. Straight down the centre of the ground. Smart gets eased under the footy. Old Scotch with the ball, gets it out in the direction once again of Rigney. Gives it to Allison. Allison been quiet in this second half, kicks blindly, lands in the arms of the Fingal player who goes sideways and finds a teammate at half back. He'll go towards Davis on centre wing. Hits Lyon on the head. They're tired, they're falling over. They're finding it hard to pick the footy up. Down goes the pack and the umpire will come in and call for a bounce. Ball to ground, no one can get free in there. There's going to be a free kick paid here and a 50-metre penalty, in actual fact. Demden will get the free kick and the 50-metre penalty. And he's going to go right to the centre of the goal square. So he'll be brought round right in front. And he should put it right through the middle. Goal umpire did a lot of work. I'm not too sure it's a goal. So, Demden puts it through, and that gives Old Scotch some breathing space. First goal in the game to Demden. Hasn't had a great influence on things, but you'll certainly remember that goal as we've crossed the 20.5-minute mark of this final term, remembering that the third quarter went some 32 minutes. So Fingal have to go forward again from here. Bad bounce by the umpire, and he'll recall it and throw it up this time. Only damage that was done was to the umpire's pride, and Ted Davis wraps the Old Scotch player up in a tackle and they fall to the ground. There'll be another ball up. And walking through the pack well smart, long barrel of a kick, bounces high and through for a minor score. Big kick from outside 50 by Smart. And short kick coming in from full back, and that's been marked easily out there by Rigney. Getting free of his Fingal opponent, out towards centre wing, and out off hands. Another throw in. So, can Old Scotch hang on as we approach 22 minutes in the term? Bit of a stalemate develops out there, but Fingal come out with it and fire it forward once again. Bit of a push in the back there, but allowed to go by the umpire in that little muddy spot there. They can't get down to the footy, but Scotch with good work by hands, work it back towards half-back. On the front of the pack, Fingal can't take the mark, comes to ground, pack develops. They need to get it out of there and get a score quickly here, Fingal. Meantime, Old Scotch happy to bottle the ball up, and finally it trickles out over the boundary line, does it? And there'll be a boundary throw in. No, there'll be a ball up. Over in Gumtree corner. Davis tries to take it out of the air. Can't. There's a whistle, and it's going to be a Fingal free kick over there. Playing on quickly, bringing the ball back in. Can't take the mark. Fingal at the fall of the ball. Snap it forward. Over the face of the goal. Through for another minor score. So, 60 plays 70. Old Scotch by 10. 11-10 plays 8-12. Kick in out of defence. Another whistle on play and another Fingal free kick. They push it forward. Dropping in the square, bit of pushing and shoving going on down there. Heathlow doing that quite a bit of recent times, and now it's a Fingal free kick, and it's going to be taken by Anthony Walker. And can he make the distance? This will make the game interesting. In he comes, wasting no time, but off to the right-hand side, as you can see, the goal umpire working hard to the right, and another minor score. So that's 3 behinds from their last 3 scoring attempts. Fingal, they trail by 9. Kick in to the unguarded Bond. Bond will come out here to this wing and find his teammate there once again standing on his own Duncan White. He'll come over the top looking for Walker. Walker takes the mark and then plays on immediately. Now he's caught with the footy, surely. Yes, he is. And Matthew Lowe lets him know, gets up with the footy, needs to get it in quickly. Goes long, puts it out in front of goal. Davis flies, can't get to the ball. and cut off there by the big ruckman for Old Scotch in McFadden, who's been one of their better players for the day, the big fella. Worked tirelessly in the ruck. Out it goes once again to Fingal. Spilsbury gets the ball, gives it over the back. Running loose, Richard Howe. Can he pick it up and get around? Long handball in the direction of his teammate there in Walker. Walker jumped on by the opposition and he'll get the free kick. He's on quickly with play, brings it inside where he finds Goodger. Goodger will bring it across to the middle of the ground where he finds Lowe. Lowe gives it off by hand to Smart, I think it might have been. He goes forward looking for his teammate. Can't, comes off the hands of the pack. Who's going to win the footy? Scotch win it. They handball it out into no man's land. The race is on. The boundary line close. And out over the boundary line it goes. And there'll be a boundary throw in. 25-38 on the scoreboard. Throw in. Davis trying to get it over the pack. Can't. Matthew Lowe, dropped the ball. Here's a chance, however. There's a Fingal man at the back of the pack. He squeezes it out. Goodjar, and there's a falling mark. Taken by, and he's cramped. And the mark taken by French, is it? Yep. It is. The man of the moment, Luke French. Running out of time here. Needs to get on with the game. 26 and a half minutes, almost got in the term. Big kick, it's sailing off to the left, and it'll go through for another minor score. So, 70 plays 62. 8-point ball game. Can't be much time left in this final term. Old Scotch hanging on for dear life. Go short. Once again, a man sneaking off on his own in Rigney. He'll waste as much time as he can. He'll be called to play on in a minute. Yes, he is. So he gets foot to ball and finds his teammate down there in Ricky Evans. He'll come around the boundary line. 1 on 2 here. Old Scotch with the numbers. Get the ball. Still got the ball. Might have been lucky to get away with that. Smart will squeeze the kick inside. Over the back it goes. Matthew Lowe, can he get onto the footy? He does. Tries to get out of the tackle. Ball held to him, and there'll be a ball up. 27 and a half minutes gone, final term. Not much time left in this final term. Hasn't been a great scoring quarter. Ball running free, Fingal trying to get to it. And there's the siren. And after a mighty fight back late in the game, the Old Scotch team hold on to win the 2013 Grand Final in the NTFA Division 2 Senior Competition. Old Scotch 10-10-70 defeat Fingal 8-14-62. Fingal having 4 or 5 shots on goal in that final term, coming home with a withering run, but Old Scotch held on to win, and goal kickers in the game for Old Scotch. We had 2 to Ricky Evans, 2 to George Walker, 2 to Sam Bond, 1 to Tommy Allison, 1 to Corey Goodluck, Nick Emden with that 50-metre penalty getting a goal in the final term, Sam Burrell with 1 first quarter goal, making up their tally of 10. And for Fingal, we had Luke French finishing with 3 goals, including 2 in that final term. 1 goal each to Heath Lowe, Brad Trotter, Richard Howe, Ted Davis and Brad Goodger. So repeating that final score for you once again as we get ready down in front of us here for the presentation of the best player on the ground for the grand final, and also for the Premiership medallions and the Premiership Cup to the winning team, Old Scotch, who made it 2 in a row here today at Youngtown. 10-10-70, that final score. Fingal 8-14-62.
first of all, I'd like to thank Larry and boys. He's done a fantastic job going through our team with nothing to steer through. They showed today quite a grand final to solid side. Thank you very much. I'd like to thank all our supporters throughout the years. Thank you very much. Give a clap. Thank you, Scotty Allen. Coach Jonas, fantastic to see Scotty. We've done about your help. Johnny Hill as well. Fantastic. Get this cup on the way. Alright, Kim will just close up and make the presentation of the medals, and you've got that. Right, we'll start on top of the list there. Give it forever. I think we'll leave a big in. Next on we'll go over British workforce. Number 6, Sam Moore. Go, Gareth. Wow, number 9, Corey, good luck. Got number 13, Robert Smith. Number 15, Charles White. Better fire up and get brother Duncan White. Yeah. Another young fella, 19, Jason French. Number 20, another workhorse, Sam Bucker. Go, goal. So another guy, number 21, loves to jump in the creek, Dan Burrow. Number 29, Sean Smith. Number 31, Josh Maker. Number 32, man supposed to be home run of money to a beauty. Kid, George Walker. Number 35, backdoor and 10 line. Another guy on 42. He's very lucky to find football this year after a farm accident. Stand on. John Bales. Walking the play. Number 4. Jack Norris. Number 3, Jim coming out. Matthew Harvey, captain. And a medal for the coach. Okay, we're going to announce the best player. The best player wins and takes out the David O'Keefe Memorial Medal. It was very tight, many chances. And the man of the day will be Aga Khan, and the winner, Samuel. Now, before we make a presentation of the trophy, we'll ask the President of the League, Jeff Lyons, to say a few words, and then we'll have the presentation of the All Important Cup.
On behalf of the NTFA, I'd like to congratulate Fingal for a great season. Fantastic game, great finish, and fantastic game of footy. I just want to tell you a little about 3,900 people here and 250 at York Park, so you know where we should be playing, but I'll leave that for now. Congratulations to Scotch, and I'd like to pay tribute to the NTFA board. They are a great bunch of blokes who volunteer their time, just like clubs do, and I really think the number of people that turned up here today is just a reflection of how community football is important, and we should keep on getting as many people into the game as possible. Thank you very much, and I'd like to invite the coach and captain of Old Scotch up here to get the cup. I'll get Ian Morrison to present the cup. Come on, Ian. Come on, go up there. That's it.
On behalf of the NTFA and the sponsors, we thank you for your We hope you enjoyed the day, and we'll see you for the continuing finals in Division 1.